Okay, so just a quick editor's note here. Throughout the episode, because of the way Drew had his microphone and his podcast set up on his laptop, you may be able to hear some echo from our audio. I've tried to go through and cut it all out, but if you do hear some echo, one, I apologize for that, and two, it is okay. No, your headphones are not broken. It's just the way it is. This issue should be corrected soon.
Hi everybody, welcome to the Command Bridge. This is your captain speaking. Today we're going to be talking about our top 10 ships and lightsabers in the Star Wars universe. We're going to start with lightsabers. And we're going to talk about our favorite lightsabers in the Star Wars universe. I feel like this list for me is kind of they all are on similar levels. Again, like our last episode.
This was probably one of the hardest lists I've had to make.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, why not by far?
Oh yeah.
There's just so many things out there that are so many lightsabers that are just so good,
Different
and then
styles.
there's some that are similar but different. Like,
yeah,
it's hard.
like the meaning, like the person that wields it is like kind of carrying how cool the lightsaber is.
Yeah, that's another thing
Yeah.
too. All right, so who wants to start us off with their list first?
I'm gonna go ahead.
All right.
So funny enough, so starting at number 10, I have Mace Windu. Mace Windu's saber.
Yeah.
is cool, so it makes the list, but it's not cool enough to like
Be any higher.
be any higher. Number 9, I have Ezra. I have his kind of low because it's as new and like interesting, and obviously talking about his first saber.
The blaster saber.
As new, as new as
Yep.
interesting as that is. Again, it makes the list. It definitely makes the list. But number 8, so number 8, Kanan. The reason that I put Kanan's above Ezra's is because of the timeline that he was in. His lightsaber could separate into separate pieces because he didn't want people knowing that it was a lightsaber. So in 2 separate pieces, you wouldn't be able to figure out which piece if it was a lightsaber. But with both pieces, it was a lightsaber. So I think that's really cool that it could like disconnect and like entirely, confuse.
Disguise itself.
Yeah, it was insane.
But also the fact he thought of that as a Padawan
Yeah.
when he built the saber is...
Well, I think he
Incredible.
maybe have made a modification to it later on in life. I don't know if he built it that way, because in
That is
Bad
true.
Batch, he does have the same saber, but
we don't know if it separates or not.
yeah,
Exactly.
because that would be very odd for that time period for him to have it separated. Now, if he went and modified it later, that makes total sense, but...
Unless he and his master did like a lot of stealth missions that they didn't need to be known as Jedi, then it would have made a bit more sense.
It could have made sense that way, but that is like my number 8. So my number 7 is Anakin. Anakin's saber is, to me, not as cool. It definitely is really cool, and again, it is on a very similar wavelength as the rest of them are. But what it means, like the person who wields it, to me means
a
more
lot
than the
more.
lightsaber does.
Yeah.
And so, just looking at the lightsaber alone, as far as functionality, versatility, and like practical use, and also the design of the saber, I feel like on its own is at this position, regardless of who actually carries the saber. Above that is the Padawan Obi-Wan saber, because the balance of how it is crafted lends itself very good to like the defensive style of lightsaber combat, and this is reinforced in his design for his second, or I guess his third saber. And it's just an upgraded version. That other saber is like an upgraded version of what he has now. But it really lends itself to his own, Obi-Wan's own defensive capabilities. And is really like, I think it looks kind of cool. It's similar to Qui-Gon's. It has its own little twist also, but I just like it. Number 5 is Maul. I put Maul saber at number 5 because it's a double-bladed lightsaber, but it can be used as a single blade, as kind of like a spear sort of scenario. Because obviously you have a really long hilt, also a blade. You can kind of use it like you would a spear, or you can just use it as you would like a lightsaber. Because I think it separates.
It does. Because he gets half of it back in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
That is true. But it does. Okay, so I guess it does separate, and that's like even better. So number 4, ahead of Maul's, is Ahsoka.
Which version though?
The new version. Her white sabers.
The Rebel Mandalorian sabers.
The Mandalorian sabers.
Wow.
Honestly, I think I put both her new sabers and her Clone Wars sabers in the exact same spot, to be honest, because they both serve a sort of similar purpose.
But the design is completely different.
Yeah, the design is completely different, but she still uses them in that same like style.
That's true.
So it kind of is the same. The design of them are completely different, and so I would probably put her old sabers above her new sabers as far as design, purely design standpoint. But as far as functionality, they both are pretty similar across the board, and I just like them in general because they're white, and it's cool. Number 3, I put the dark saber.
Ooh, that's another one I thought about, and I'm like, I don't know if I should put that on there or not.
Yeah, I just love the dark saber because it's number 1 is black. The blade is black and like white, and the sound that it makes is insane. It's really cool sound, and I just love the fact that it's a Mandalorian saber. It's just really cool. Now, my number 2 saber, not a single one of you, I guarantee, have even thought of this saber, but Ronin's saber from Visions, the samurai.
Oh.
I absolutely love his saber. His saber is awesome. Because it's basically like a samurai sword, but it's a lightsaber.
A katana.
It's really cool. And number 1, I put Obi-Wan Kenobi's third saber. Just because its design is just so cool. The design of his saber and the practicality and functionality of his saber lend itself hand in hand to its design is cool. It looks cool, and that looking cool also performs well. And so you have both sides of that coin. That is really just peak lightsaber, like design.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
I honestly considered putting Dooku's saber like on there, but I don't think it was. I love Dooku's saber, but I'm not entirely sure. I think it would take Mace Windu's spot at number 10 if I put it on there at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have several honorable mentions for my saber list. 'Cause
Let's hear 'em.
definitely.
Let's go. Let's.
do you
let's
have
do
what are your honorable mentions there, Holden?
I mean, every lightsaber in existence.
I was gonna say.
I mean, some honorable mentions are probably like, I don't know, probably Tajin from Visions, the Temple Guard.
Yeah, I know
honestly-
Drew's gonna have that one on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the Elders, like sabers in Visions.
Man, there's a lot of visions in that
Vision
list.
stuff. I haven't even watched that.
I mean, the Vision sabers are pretty cool. In all honesty, the Visions like story of all the were not like the greatest, but I really liked the lightsaber designs.
Yeah, there were a few that had really, really good episodes. Like, there were a few really good episodes in Visions.
Yeah. Darth Vader's definitely gets on the list of honorable mentions.
Ooh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot about that one, but I did.
I think the Grand Inquisitor also has a decent.
I mean, it's just the Inquisitors, because they all have similar
they all have
lightsabers.
Yeah, and definitely Vader's original saber, his first saber. Like, in the comics saber. The one that's like... What's his name?
You talking about when he kills that Jedi?
Yeah, it's this Order 66 survivor in the comics that he stole. I cannot remember what his name was. It was like Kirik or Kirok.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember his name.
It was that was just a really cool design. Yeah, Kirok Infilla. I mean, that was pretty epic. But that's like my honorable mentions, I guess.
I was going to pick like 3 or 4, but you just went for
they're
the
all
whole
like,
shebang.
I mean, you could put Lop's saber in there from Visions. I mean, the design of it is beautiful. It's like an ancient Chinese, like...
But it's also handed down.
Jade.
So
Yeah,
it's not technically just hers, but yeah.
But that saber is very ornate and very beautiful. But yeah, I mean, like, that could be said about a lot of them.
Yeah. All right, Drew, you're up next.
Y'all don't mind, I'll go next. So number 10, I have Ahsoka's Rebel and Mandalorian sabers. I like the design, I like the white, but I think the other ones are just better, so you'll see those later on the list.
Yeah.
At number 9, I have Count Dooku saber. It's really cool, but I mean, it's functional in a way, but it's very specific to how it needs to be used.
It's very situational. Very situational.
And it would be better if it was not as situational. Number 8 only makes the list because it is a rare design that isn't used anymore, which is Kylo Ren's crossguard saber.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The character associated with it kind of brings it down if you were to associate the character with it.
I contemplated putting his lightsaber because it's only been seen twice and it's so unique. But then I'm like, gosh, his character is just
once in the movies,
once in Rebels,
multiple times in the movies actually, and then once in Rebels. Number 7. Yeah.
I don't know.
Number 7, I have Ezra's blaster saber. Really liked that. It was a really cool concept. It took his new Jedi path and his old street thug path, because he had that little wrist blaster thing that he kind of used for it, and that was a pretty cool concept. Number 6, I have the other set of Ahsoka's lightsabers. Mainly just because, the green and blue. It doesn't matter what color they are. I just like the way the hilts look. And I mean, both sets function for the same purpose, but I just like the design of the Clone Wars better. At number 5, I have Luke's green saber. All around just really iconic saber, which is why it's so high. But it doesn't have that other cool factor that some other sabers have. Number 4, I have the Youngling Slayer 5000, aka Anakin saber.
The Younglings.
That's what it's called. The Youngling
Slayer 5000.
Yeah. Just because the lore behind it and everything that it has seen and been through is remarkable. And then
Not
at
just
number 3,
the men, not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Yeah. And then number 3, I have the Darth Maul saber, specifically the double-bladed version.
Yeah.
Just because when it was first introduced in Phantom Menace, which one I wasn't alive for, but when I saw it for the first time, it was just like, this guy means business.
For real.
And imagine,
awesome. Have you ever
and
seen
then just
that?
imagine like people who had already gotten into Star Wars that come back several years later to see this new person with a double-bladed lightsaber, and it's just
and
like,
literally
oh
all
my
they've seen is
gosh.
one blade. So I mean, that's like
This is sick. This is amazing. This is the best thing you've ever seen.
Have y'all ever seen that scene in like the Lego Star Wars like movies or whatever that they made, where Maul comes on the Star Destroyer and he like starts Duel of Fate starts playing, he goes awesome, awesome,
yeah. I think we've all seen that one.
Awesome. And he just has like 12 blades out of the sides of his like lightsaber. It's the funniest thing ever.
We'll attach a picture of that in post.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then at number 2, y'all mentioned I would have this earlier, is the Jedi Temple Guard saber. Ever since I saw them in Clone Wars, I have been obsessed with these characters. One of them has an unfortunate turn of events, but their concept and their blade design is, in my opinion, immaculate. And if I ever get into cosplay, that's going to be one of the first ones I do. And before I get to number 1, I'm going to say a few honorable mentions. I have Darth Vader, the Darksaber, Mace Windu, and Palpatine's. Those were 4 that I considered putting on the list, but of course we can only do a top 10, so I only have so many spots. And of course, number 1, I have Obi-Wan's Episode 3 and on saber.
100% agree.
Kind of like holding, we hold Obi-Wan very near and dear to our hearts. So, Space Jesus for life.
Hashtag.
It's going to be a running meme at this point.
It has to be mentioned in at least one time every episode.
Yeah. And then, I think with that, I pass it off to you, Garrett.
Alright, so here's mine's going to be, I think, a little bit controversial because of my number 1, but I'll explain when I get to it.
Okay.
My number 2.
I think I know what it is. I may know what this is.
It's the Youngling Slayer.
No,
I don't think it's that.
It's okay. Number 10, we got Ezra's first lightsaber. It's unique, never been done before. Of course, we've already covered all that. And then we got number 9. I have Ki-Adi-Mundi for the sole reason that from a continuity error, the Star Wars fans have crafted that since he had 2 brains, his species has 2 brains, he had 2 different crystals, a blue and a green.
Oh, I've heard of this.
And you
I've
see
heard
both
of
of them in
this.
Attack of the Clones, and truly, it's just a continuity error, but it creates a really cool storyline, and I think, I like being able to hold my lightsaber with two hands and not hitting any switches or anything, so I like that he has a lot of space where you can hold your lightsaber, and I just like the double color, like, lore behind it. Number 8, I know Holden's gonna regret not putting this one. Cal Kestis at number 8.
Ooh.
See, here's the reason that I didn't put Cal Kestis on the list. I thought about it. I legitimately thought about it. But his blade is too top heavy for my choice.
You're
His
talking about
blade
like
design is cool, but number one, it's technically Jared DePaul's.
Yeah, I was about to say it's Jared DePaul's.
The top part of his lightsaber is much heavier than the bottom part, leading it to naturally drop when you defensively want to have it raised. And so it just leads to.
I mean, it just helps with that down hit.
I like a lightsaber because I don't like the heavy.
Yeah, I'm a huge lightsaber person. Well, lightsaber, but a lightsaber person.
Because you want.
I like that medium.
You want to be able to move it quicker and faster for defensive capabilities more than you want a heavy downswing. Whereas that would help with gravity. You are also using the Force and can just pull your saber down if you want to in that moment. Otherwise, you have to use the Force to lift the saber. That's a concentration that you need to have for other things, right? Mm-hmm. So, I like a lighter saber than Cal's. And that is the specific reason that I did not put Cal's on the list, is because it is too top heavy. The emitter is too heavy.
Okay.
Comparatively to the rest of the saber.
And see, I like having I don't like it too heavy, but I don't like it too light either. I like that good balance of weight.
Yeah.
So that way I can hit hard, but it's also not heavy enough for me to get into defensive positions.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Number 7, I have Darth Maul. For kind of the same reasons. He's got a double-bladed saber, it's really cool, but some of the other things are just, other sabers are a lot cooler for specific reasons. And that leaves me number 6, which is Ahsoka's first lightsabers. So the green and blue ones, the Clone Wars variation. I think it's really cool that they change color. Also, the way she holds them is pretty cool. And again, that theme of when you hold it, your hands are not pressing any buttons. There's a huge area for you to hold it with both hands. Mm-hmm. I really like that about a saber.
And when we're talking about not pressing any button, we're talking about the Galaxy's Edge legacy.
Yeah, so saber. If they were to make a model of that lightsaber, I like to be able to hold it with both hands and not press any buttons or turn off the lightsaber or rub against my hand. I just like a smooth, flat surface, or just a smooth surface that I could, grab and be able to hold onto.
Unfortunately, a good bit of those legacy sabers do tend to have buttons and switches, and knobs that you can
a pet peeve.
Hit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But again, that same following up with the same theme on 5, I have Qui-Gon's, one of the best for that. Almost completely smooth. It's got a good grip on it. No buttons that I would really hit. And it's green, which is my lightsaber color. So, I mean, that's...
Mine's yellow, by the way.
Self-explanatory. 4, Obi-Wan's first lightsaber. Following with that same theme. Smooth. No buttons. It's a good saber. It's light, too. Lightsaber.
Very light.
And then we got 3, which is Anakin's saber. See, Anakin's saber, the problem with Anakin's saber is it is a two-handed saber, but your hands are separated by the emitter in the middle, which I don't like, but I still like the history and the look of it, so that kind of boosted it up.
But you also got
number
to think that Anakin normally wields his with one hand.
Yeah.
So that was never a problem for him.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to think of it of that way. But for a
And he
dueling
uses,
standpoint, for us,
He
it's
uses
just not.
Shicho, right? So it's more power moves. So I'd
Yeah,
assume-
form 5.
yeah. So I'd assume that would be better for him, so he can really, get strength
Get
behind
leverage,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 for me is Count Dooku's lightsaber.
Ooh, I thought that
I
was going to be
love-
your number 1.
No, I love Count Dooku's lightsaber.
Yeah.
It is so unique. It looks nice, looks elegant, and the form associated with it and how it's used is amazing. Also, like the emitter, something, no lightsaber really has is that curved emitter. And again, room to hold it on, with both hands. You're able to hold it. If you move up your hands, you're able to hold it. So,
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have any honorable mentions, really. It's really just every saber ever. That's about it.
Honorable mentions every saber ever.
Yeah.
Ever seen and documented.
Yeah.
Because the lightsaber is just a cool weapon, anyways.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
first
the best
saber.
weapon.
It is a
My
very
number
elegant
one saber-
weapon for a more civilized
Okay.
age.
So, it's actually not Obi-Wan's like y'all's has been. It's not his episode 3 through 6 lightsaber. It's Luke's lightsaber, and they're basically the same, which is why I didn't have Obi-Wan's on here.
Yeah.
Because they're the same saber,
Yeah.
except I just like
Sort of.
silver and gold, silver and gold color combo. But essentially, they're really interchangeable. It's just a matter of
It's
color.
silver gold
Also,
instead of
it's green.
silver black. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's green instead of blue.
So
I wouldn't
That
say they're
is-
like the exact same because, of course, like you said, there's a difference.
there's a
Between the
small
two when you
difference, but like
compare-
baseline.
compare 'em. Yeah, because I think that's what he based his
Yeah,
second
he found
one
the
off of.
blueprints for it in
Yeah,
Obi-Wan's hut. So
which there's actually a deleted scene that I know of, but I haven't seen about him actually making the
yeah,
saber.
I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. It's pretty cool. He makes his lightsaber and
I really wish we would have gotten that because
Yeah, it
That
would have
would've
fit
been-
perfectly. I don't see why they removed it. It helped so much because I always used to ask myself, where in the world did he get this lightsaber from? And that scene, that little like, I think it's like a 30-second scene would have, totally answered that question.
cleared that
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well,
Next list is the ships of the Star Wars universe.
and I want
Top 10.
I want Drew to start this one off because I feel like he's got some interesting ones on this.
I think
Ooh.
I think he should also. I think you
Okay.
should start us out, Drew.
So at number 10, just because it's a really cool concept, but you only see it fully used like one time in Rebels, was the B-Wing. The one that had the 2 cockpits and the 4 cannons that could like obliterate a Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
You really only saw it in that one episode, and then you never really saw its full capabilities again. At number 9, I have the Phantom, which is the
drop ship for the Ghost.
yes.
So you don't have the Ghost as
That's probably going to be higher.
as
is.
the Phantom.
Yeah.
I feel like they're the same thing.
They're really not, because there's actually 2 iterations of the Phantom.
The Phantom.
You have the Phantom, which is the one they originally have, and then they have to go get some Y-wings for a rebel fleet, and they end up losing the old Phantom, and then they get an old separatist ship that they turn into the Phantom 2, which I just thought was a really cool idea, and the fact that it just so happened to fit in perfectly to that little spot.
Wait, so is Phantom 1 or Phantom 2 the one you're referring to mainly on the list?
I really like the Phantom 1 better.
Okay.
It's because it had a lot more memorable moments than the Phantom 2. Number 8, I have the A-Wing. A very solid starfighter. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, but that's just about all it's got going for it. It's really solid, really clean. And then next up, at number 7, I have the Ghost. Really solid ship. There was a lot done to it before the show, but we know a lot of its capabilities that we see throughout Rebels, and it just really gives off a solid ship energy. And then at number 6, I have the Venator.
That's got to be on there, man.
The reason it's as high as it is because it's a really cool looking ship with the 2 command bridges, and
makes sense.
And then, fun fact for viewers, I know the 2 of y'all know this, but it's actually one of the ships we thought about basing a command bridge type looking logo off of.
Yeah, that is where we got the idea, because of the Venator's unique 2 command bridges.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And then number 5, I have the Y-Wing. The Y-Wing stealth bombers. Those are. I like the Rebellion versions a lot better than I did the Galactic Republic.
Yeah.
Just because, even though the Galactic Republic was a smoother design, just the rugged look fit a lot better for that starfighter.
Yeah.
And then number 4, I have Home 1, a very iconic ship built out of a Mon Calamari city.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a really cool concept. Yeah. Number 3, one of the ships that started it all, the Tantive 4. Pretty solid ship. Really wish we got to see more of it than Episode 1 and Rogue One. Or not Episode 1, Episode 4, New Hope. Number 2, everybody's favorite, the X-Wing. Just really cool ship, fighter, 4 guns, Luke's main fighter. Just really solid and nostalgic and cool. And then number 1,
I know you're gonna put Millennium Falcon as number 1.
Yeah, there's
there's no way.
You cannot have a top 10 Star Wars ships and fighters list without having the Millennium Falcon on it.
Yeah.
It all just depends on where you put it. I really liked Han Solo as a character, so that's why I have the Millennium Falcon so high.
And it performs so much better than it should.
Yeah.
It's literally a hunk of junk that did the Kessel Run.
Blow that piece of junk out of the sky!
Oh, that's just one of the best lines
of the sequel trilogy. And the amount of times it's referred to junk, but then immediately outperforms what we would think to be junk is absolutely insane.
It's like that one's garbage, and then the quad jumper.
We'll take the garbage.
The garbage will do.
Yeah.
In the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game, the scene where you jump into the quad jumper, or try to jump in the quad jumper and it gets exploded, there's 3 quad jumpers that blow up in a row, so you're like, we'll take that quad jumper, and it blows up, and you look to the next quad jumper and that one blows up, and there's then you hop into the Millennium Falcon. It's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, Millennium Falcon, solid ship, outperforms any ship, and made the Kessel Run in less than
12 parsecs.
12 parsecs. I always get it confused because I always want to say 13, less than 13, which is still technically accurate.
Yeah. I mean,
technically.
You'd be under that umbrella.
Yeah, but I just get that number confused.
Yeah.
A lot.
Who's up next? Me and Holden.
I think you are, Garrett. I want to hear your opinions.
Okay. All right. So number 10, I have the Home One. It's just a cool ship, and it's a big. I like capital ships a lot.
Oh yeah.
Just because of their sheer size and ability. And then number 9, I don't know if any of y'all know this, but the Acclimator. If you have a device available where you can look it up, look up the Acclimator.
The Acclimator is pretty cool.
Because
the Acclimator is...
It is a insane ship.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's really cool, but it's almost like... It doesn't really do much combat-wise. That's why it's so low down.
Yeah.
Number 8...
It was basically just a Venator, but with one command bridge.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's like a triangle shape. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like a wider triangle.
I'm actually going to look up... so it's like a wider triangle. It's got the one command bridge, but the scene that you see in episode 2 of just the hundreds of thousands of clones just marching into it is just so
cool.
Yeah. And so number 8, I have Kylo Ren's TIE Echelon, or I don't know if it's TIE Echelon necessarily, but the one he uses in the sequel trilogy.
To try and run over Rey in the last episode?
Yeah, the one in the last episode in Rise of Palpatine.
The one with the very pointy wings.
Yeah, that one.
That one
I just think
was pretty
the
cool.
red windows and the it just looks menacing.
It's literally just a TIE interceptor with a red window.
No, but it's really cool though, because it has special modifications to it, and I think it's really cool.
I guess that's true.
Yeah. I really think any TIE fighter is just so cool. Number 7, I have the Executor, not door, Executor. That's Vader's capital ship from episode 6, I think, that you see. It's huge, and it's also really a unique design. So, again, that capital ship. My number 6 is the Millennium Falcon, or the YT 1300. Yeah.
Corellian freighter.
I'm not a huge Millennium Falcon fan, but you can't not have it on a top 10 list, so
yeah,
it's got to be there. My number 5 is the Tantive 4. That one's pretty self-explanatory. It's really cool, and I think it opens up the entire Skywalker saga. So it's the first thing people ever saw of Star Wars, so it's iconic. Number 4, the Slave 1.
Dude,
ooh,
that is one ship that I didn't think either one of you would put on your list, but I did.
Slave 1. It is insane, so cool, and
the seismic charge.
The
seismic charge. Okay, over this audio, we can stay silent for a couple seconds. We're going to insert a clip of the seismic charge here. Just to insert a clip.
Wow, that was so crazy.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That was gorgeous.
Chef's kiss.
That is the most satisfying sound in all of cinema.
Let's hear it one more time for good measure, everybody. Okay, there we go. We got it.
Beautiful. Just, it's so cool.
Okay.
Just beautiful.
Number 3, I got the iconic X-Wing. Not much to say about it besides X-Wing.
Yeah.
Number 2, Jedi Starfighter. Opens episode 3.
Yes.
So nice. So good.
Yeah, the Jedi Interceptors, those were pretty cool.
Yeah. They're so just iconic and perfect. Especially Anakin.
I'm disappointed in myself about forgetting some of these.
Yeah, I know. There's just so many. And number 1, this isn't a surprise to me, but the Venator. The Venator is my favorite Star Wars ship.
I also put the Venator at number 1.
So much more practical than the Imperial Star Destroyer. I watched a video on this. The only situation that the Venator loses in a head-to-head battle against the Star Destroyer is close combat. But if they are
it's never meant for close combat anyway.
Yeah, it's not meant for close combat. So that's the only area where it would lose. Any other area, it would totally destroy the Imperial Star Destroyer. So, better than the Star Destroyer. It looks nice. It's just so cool. So I have to put it.
But also that
and you
one.
also
tan metal and red
another thing.
combination.
Another thing about the Venator.
So nice.
Another thing about the Venator. It usually always has at least some kind of Jedi on board, ready to hop into a starfighter, and every Imperial Star Destroyer does not.
Yeah.
So you have a Jedi leading it, at least one Jedi leading one squadron of fighters in a fighter battle, in a dogfight. And the thing that the Imperial Star Destroyer is lacking is that Jedi to lead that squadron.
Unless they just so happen to find Vader's.
Yeah, unless they have Vader's executor. Unless you have Vader's executor, any regular Imperial Star Destroyer is not going to have that Jedi Sith Force user on board.
Plus, the Venator has the front opening, bay for the ships to come out, which is a lot better tactically, and it also has, I think, 2 on the sides, which is a lot better tactically. So you can send, 3 different attacks at the same time, which throws off the enemy, and it's so nice.
And the Imperial Star Destroyer has just the one at the bottom.
Yeah, exactly, which is not very good tactically.
Well, I feel like if you get under a ship, then it's all right. It's not as good, but it is still decent. So I guess I'll go into my list of ships.
Let's do this.
So number 10, I have the Ghost. I have the Ghost on there because it is a really good ship. But there are other ships that I feel like tactically have proven their worth above this. Number 9, the Scimitar. That is Darth Maul's ship.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. The Scimitar is insane.
Yeah.
Its advantages are just overwhelming. Number 8, the Naboo Starfighter, the N1 Starfighter.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is insanely fast. It also spins, which is a good trick. And it has blown up single-handedly blown up an entire, Trade Federation battleship.
Yeah. It's like
and that ship, piloted by the greatest pilot in the galaxy,
when he was 10.
Yeah, when he was 10. And now we have the Mandalorian with an
the greatest pilot in the galaxy, R2-D2 on autopilot.
Dude, R2 is a beast in the prequels.
Yeah.
It's literally R2 in episodes 4, 5, and 6 is regular little astromech droid. And then
who has PTSD from episodes 1, 2, and 3.
R2 in episodes 1, 2, and 3 is just rootin', tootin', beeping, and booping. He literally lights some robots on fire, some battle droids on fire.
Yeah.
He is insane. He is cracked. R2 alone is just a cracked pilot. So the Naboo Starfighter, the N1 Starfighter, really good. Number 7, the A-Wing. The A-Wing is very fast and proves itself in hit-and-run scenarios very well. When you make a run with the bombers behind you and you just and then peel off really fast, you can't hit them almost in some cases because they're much faster than the other ships. Number 6, I have the Slave 1. Again, that sound is beautiful. The
Absolutely
seismic
brilliant.
charge is gorgeous. It'd be really funny is if we didn't put any audio there and we just sat there. That would be hilarious.
If I can't find a download for it, I don't know.
But just enough said. Just the seismic charge, and its vertical look is cool. Number 5, I put the Imperial Star Destroyer, specifically the Executor, because it is just a very solid ship.
Yeah.
Just very good in combat. Not as good as the Venator, but it is still a really formidable ship. Number 4, I have the X-Wing. The X-Wing is just the X-Wing, just a classic good fighter, all-rounded, well-rounded fighter.
I'm pretty sure we had our X-Wings at 2, 3, and 4 all respectively.
I think so.
I had mine at 3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, mine was at 2. That's funny.
That is funny. Number 3 is the Jedi Starfighter.
Well, the Interceptor or the actual Starfighter?
Anakin and Obi-Wan's yellow and red,
The
Jedi
Interceptors.
Starfighters.
That's what I was referring to.
Interceptors.
Both of them really, the triangle one and the little winged one, they both are in the same level. They are on the same. They're both glorious ships.
Once again, I feel disappointed that I could not remember those.
Yeah.
Oh, don't feel bad. I think you had some solid options. Number 2, the Millennium Falcon. I think the Millennium Falcon is fantastic. Has a gun on top and bottom for maximum rotational energy. And they also have guns, cool stuff. I think number 1, just got to give it to the Venator. It is such a just tactically glorious ship, and proves itself in battle often. Mm-hmm. And that's the list.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think the Venator just outclasses everything.
Yeah, I think it's one of the best ships. One of my honorable mentions, I forgot to mention this. I also was going to put the Ghost on there, but there were some that are, a little bit better. And I think an honorable mention is a ship I really like, and one that you don't really see many variations of, is the LAAT gunship. Mm-hmm. That one is, has so many crazy features. The laser on it, being able to hold everybody, and the unique design, I think, is really nice. The Imperial...
Just to make sure I remember right, this is the one that has, this is the Clone Wars one that has, that weird sliding door.
Yeah.
Yes, and it has the little...
the 2 little ball laser
spheres,
guns on the side.
Yeah, laser guns.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Imperial transport shuttle, Imperial class shuttle.
Also, another honorable mention, probably for all 3 of us, that none of us put on our lists, the Razor Crest.
Yeah. The design gets me on that one, but I think it's a good ship.
Yeah. The cargo bay, there's room for cargo and stuff like that. I think that definitely gives it some class. But I just think these are just better. Definitely an honorable mention would have been, for me, would have been the Tantive 4 and then the Home 1. I didn't have that on mine, but I feel like it's still a really, really good choice. Also, another honorable mention, the Invisible Hand.
That and the Maleficent. The Maleficent.
Yeah.
Malevolence, not the Maleficent. It's the Malevolence.
Is it?
The Malevolence, the one that has the EMP. That would level entire fleets. That was dope.
It's just insane.
I have one of my honorable mentions is the Inquisitor Transport Scythe. They just came out with a Lego set for it, but I think it's really cool. It kind of falls along those lines with Kylo Ren's, so it's kind of in that same area. The Inquisitor Transport Scythe. That's what the Lego set's named anyway. But it's just the Inquisitor shuttle.
Is it the one that? Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
I also think I think the U-wing is a nice ship. I like the U-wing.
I do enjoy a good U-wing. I think that joins the honorable mentions list. But
yeah,
that is
the show. It's a fighter and a transport ship at the same time. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
But in other words, a lot of cool ships.
I think that is a show. Thank you, everybody, for listening to our opinions on these ships and lightsabers from the Star Wars universe. Add us on all of the things at the Command Bridge on Spotify and Apple Music.
The Command
Bridge.
Yeah.
What?
They'll be put in the beginning of the video.
The Command Bridge on all of the different things. I'm Chewy on YouTube and maybe Twitch later at some point. Drew is Kyber Pixel. And Garrett is Jarek Skywalker on different platforms. So that is the list of the dudes.
I think we need one more seismic charge for good measure.
Yeah, wait, okay, yeah. More seismic charge.
Okay, good seismic charge.
Beautiful. All
right.
And that's the show.
All right.
Bye, everybody.